President Trump set to meet with North Korean dictator Kim Jong Un, and the president also deciding whether to pull out of the Iran nuclear deal. First tonight, let's talk about North Korea. And word President Trump will demand the communist regime dismantle all of their nuclear weapons if they want to end those crippling economic sanctions. The North has already reportedly agreed to halt long-range missile testing, but today reporters asked White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders if we can trust Kim Jong Un.
Certainly, we're not going to make mistakes from previous administrations, and we're not going to take the North Koreans simply at their word. Like I said before, and we've said many times before, the maximum pressure campaign is going to continue until we see concrete actions.
So will the North hold up their end of the bargain? There's only one person to ask. Daily Beast columnist and author of Nuclear Showdown, North Korea Takes on the World. Gordon Chang is here. So it's interesting, Gordon, this administration has obviously internalized some of the failures of past administrations, and I call it naive optimism, because everyone wants a happy ending when it comes to North Korea, and they're so willing to ease up on the sanctions that they give away in concessions so much, and there's really no impetus for them to shut down their nuclear program. Will it be different this time?
I think it will be different this time. President Trump said it's going to be different, and I think he really understands that. It's the sanctions that brought Kim Jong Un to the table in the first place. And so the way we're going to get him to give up his nukes, which he doesn't really want to do, that's going to be even more sanctions. So I think the president's on the right course here.
Yes, and it's interesting because I sort of compare it to someone who's entering rehab for alcohol or drugs. You know, the president wants Kim Jong Un to give up everything all at once. And that's a tough pill to swallow. Now, it wouldn't be appropriate if someone were going into rehab for a pill addiction to still kind of drink and maybe snort coke every once in a while. And that's what the North wants to do. They don't want to give everything up. Is that realistic to have them shut down their entire nuclear program?
I think it's realistic because this is not a Kim question. Of course, Kim doesn't want to give up. But, you know, it's up to Trump to force him to do something he doesn't want him to do. And, you know, at this particular time, we hold the high cards. That's how come we're at this path to denuclearization that nobody thought we'd be here just a couple months ago.
That's absolutely right.
It's because of the sanctions. It's because of the threats of the use of force. And also the Kim, at this particular time, probably wants some relief from what he thinks are the evil Chinese. And he sees the United States sort of maybe as a way out, to sort of be a counterweight to Beijing. So, you know, you put all that together, Kim has a lot of reasons to do what we want him to do, but it's going to be up to our president to force him.
It's really interesting because, you know, you would think even just a few months ago that China had so much leverage over North Korea and held all the cards.
Right.
But now it seems that China is completely frozen out of this discussion. The North and South are actually having a dialogue. They both want it to go well. The president of the United States is going to meet with the leader of North Korea for the first time, and China really has no part in this. What does that say to you?
Well, that's a good thing. I mean, first of all, we know that the Koreans and the Chinese for 2 millennia have been fighting with each other. They would prefer not to have to depend on them. Also, from our perspective, it's great to sideline the Chinese. And that's what President Trump did on March 8th when he accepted Kim's offer to talk directly, because the Chinese just aren't going to be in the room. During the six-party talks between 2003 and 2009, Beijing was basically a malign influence, helping the North Koreans more than helping us. And so, you know, Trump's saying, I'm not going to do that again. And that's good. Keeping Beijing off to the sidelines, great idea.
Yeah, and Pyongyang has always been sort of dependent on Beijing in a way it's unnatural and it's unhealthy, and it has not been productive regardless of what China says. So much has unfolded so quickly. What is the best case scenario coming out of this?
Best case scenario, North Korea gives up its nukes, give up all its ballistic missiles, long and short range, because the short range ones threaten Japan. We want them, for instance, to give up the abductees that they took from, you know, Japanese citizens that they kidnapped. Also, there's 3 Americans who we know are detained, and there maybe is a 4th, David Sneddon, who disappeared from China under mysterious circumstances and is thought to be in North Korea right now. At least we need an accounting of Americans that North Korea is holding.
And we know that CIA Director Dr. Mike Pompeo, who probably will be our next Secretary of State based on how the Foreign Relations Committee vote went tonight, that he spoke with Kim Jong Un about that and about those three detainees. Now, about some of the human rights abuses, there's no way that North Korea can really enter the international community and profit from any free market economy when they've got systematic labor camps and they're killing thousands of their own people in ways that are unimaginable to us.
Yeah, but when North Korea does open up, and it could very well, because we could extend diplomatic relations to it, we could end up having business dealings, that will open up North Korea. It didn't quite work out with China because China's big, but also North Korea is pretty small. It's got a GDP, gross domestic product, of maybe $28 billion. This building in New York, Kennedy, which we're now in, has a bigger GDP than all of North Korea. We can swamp them, and that could actually open up the regime and make it a lot better.
Okay, so let me ask you this, because it seems as though there's so much leverage that Kim Jong Un has with his nuclear arsenal. If he gives that up, does he give up all of his leverage? And is that naturally the way that the North and South recombine?
Well, you know, he doesn't give up a lot of the leverage because he's got his military forward deployed on the demilitarized zone. I mean, they could kill millions, tens of millions of people in Seoul within the first 2 weeks or so. So that's a lot of leverage. And actually, that's the thing that has prevented any attack on North Korea for the course of decades. It wasn't their nuclear arsenal because that's new.
Yeah, we don't really talk about their conventional military.
They've got chemical weapons, biological weapons, and conventional artillery that could just devastate the South Korean capital. So, you know, that's their deterrent. They're not giving that up in these talks with us.
Yes, that's interesting. But they obviously, they want the sanctions lifted. They've gotten a taste of the international spotlight. And I think the Olympics really changed something for North Korea. It wasn't just being in pain. It wasn't just the suffering. It was something else. It was longing for more. And, you know, we've always talked about the positive influence of a free market economy on people who are so hungry, you know, not just for stuff and not just for food, but for culture. You know, look at the way South Koreans enjoy their lives. You know, there's so much culture that is exported from there that why wouldn't North Koreans want to engage in?
And one of the things that we can do is actually, we haven't done this, but we haven't tried to get information into North Korea to sort of undermine Kim and to say to the North Korean people, look, life is much better under a different system. Now, we haven't done that for a lot of reasons, but we could. And one of the things about North Korea is that those people in North Korea have been fed lies. I mean, incredible lies. It's like the Truman Show almost. And, you know, we can undermine that. When people find out that what their government is telling them is not true, it's incredibly corrosive for the government. So Kim is worried about that.